What's an experience you shared with a friend where you both silently agreed to never speak of it again? Nothing too crazy, but my best friend has never kissed a guy and she was afraid she would mess it up, so she begged me to teach her first. I'm a girl BTW. I agreed and I knew she was nervous, so we had a few glasses of wine first and then we tried to practice. I lean in to kiss her and she giggles, which makes me laugh. After several unsuccessful tries we actually managed lip contact for about half a minute. I was really proud of her because I knew she was nervous. She suddenly bursts into tears and gets snot all over me and cries about being a bad friend asking me to do this. I probably shouldn't have given her too much to drink, haha. We never speak of it only because we know we will just laugh too much and she's mortified. Apologies, I tend to ramble. You were supposed to make her more comfortable by taking your shirt off. A buddy of mine was driving with me as a passenger. We went down the road near his house along the lake when we says check her out, a woman in a bikini was going down for a swim. What an ass. He slowed down so I could roll down the window and do a cat call. We were stupid 17-year-olds. I was leaning out the window yelling, "Who baby? Nice ass." She turned around. It was his mom. A nice ass is a nice ass. Probably made her day. Fricked my female friend at her brother's birthday party. I finished all over a huge beanbag. After we got cleaned up and everything, we hung out. Her brother and his 11-year-old friends come running in. They start jumping on the beanbag that we forgot to clean. After jumping, most of them have noticed the wet spots on each other. We told them we spilled water and have not had a conversation about it to this day. In grade school, a friend tried to make his pee hole bigger with an Allen key. I told him he shouldn't try, but he did anyways. There was blood. It was pretty fricked up. He just wrapped his dong in toilet paper and nothing was said of the incident ever again. I.F. Semi-drunkenly hooked up with one of my guy friends who died known for a long time. He has a really tiny penis, maybe 2 inches 3 inches erect. He was really nervous about it, but I didn't really mind since he was quite good at oral. The next morning we were cuddling in bed and he begged me not to tell any of our friends about our hookup or his size. We are still good friends and his secret will always be safe with me. Small secrets are easy to keep. Went streaking with my male friend while very drunk. His big T-Ted girlfriend decided to join in the nudity. I say she has nice tea once they are revealed. Friend decides he doesn't like me ogling her jumblies and decides to fight me. Drunken nude wrestling. He doesn't like me ogling her jumblies. Haven't heard that one before. Back in middle school, a friend both girls, used to sit on the couch in my basement and use one of those giant yoga balls to press into each other's crotches to get off. It felt great, and we would softly talk dirty to each other the whole time. This happened 2 or 3 times. She came over. Haven't talked about it since. She came over. Degrees. When I was nearing the end of my freshman year of college, a few friends of mine dropped acid one Sunday afternoon. The acid was apparently very strong and all but one of them went off trip-a-dip-a-diddling on their merry way. The one I speak of got stuck in his own head and was found wandering through the halls, buck-ass naked, with a blank expression on his face. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, this was during family visit weekend. Anyways, after a couple friends and I grab a towel and corral my fried out friend into a dorm room, he proceeds to sit on a bed and stare out the window, still completely naked. Being the responsible person I am, I realize that he is so out of touch with reality to the point that he may accidentally hurt himself if left alone, so I tell the gathering crowd that I'll stay with him and they can go enjoy the beautiful Sunday Santa Cruz afternoon. I then grabbed the nearest smoking device and got incredibly high while I had to stare for hours at my naked friend on LSD while he worked his way out of his psychedelic pickle. Several people casually walked into the room, stared at my friend, stared at me, laughed and then turned around and left. During this time, a few hours into my marathon pot-laden babysitting venture, he looked over at me, stood up to put his pants on and said that was freaking weird. We haven't mentioned it since. You are a good friend. Was probably 7 years old, best friends, house playing the racket, and we caught his mom giving my dad a BJ, proceeded to act it out and get caught by them. They were P but agreed to say nothing on the agreement. We said nothing to our other parents. Didn't really help. Both marriages were crap. I was drinking heavily with my sister's boyfriend and we woke up spooning naked in bed. On a college trip abroad, best friend and I head up to our hotel room. Get asked by one of our tutors to get our other tutor from his room. Knock on the door. Realize it's ajar. Sheepishly head in quietly. Big bag of coke on the bed with lines on the sideboard. Glance at each other. Shake heads. Walk out. Get pizza. At his house at around the age of 13. We are making tea and I open the cupboard for a mug. Inside is a Tupperware box with a large square tin foil packet, around the size of a 0.5 kilo bag of sugar, and a bunch of little bags of brown powder. I take the cups out and close the cupboard and don't say a word. 10 years on and we've still never discussed it, and I don't think I've talked about it with anyone else either. Interestingly, his dad is a lovely bloke, and has been a very hands-on father despite divorcing from my friend's mum. My best friend and I saw the Spice World movie when it was still in theaters. We never speak of it. I don't care what anyone says. That movie is hilarious. My best friend's husband hit on me a month before the wedding. We had all been drinking that night. He was wasted and I was slightly tipsy but fully aware. I told him off and told him if I ever found out he tried that with another girl I'd rip his appendage off. I was maid of honor at the wedding and I never told her. I thought about it but they had already bought a house together. The wedding was set and she was so dang happy. I put it out of my mind and pretended it never happened. And I'm glad I did. They were married for 5 years before she got brain cancer and died, leaving behind a daughter. He was the most doting husband during the 7 months she wasted away and is truly an amazing father. He's remarried now and the most loyal man I have ever met. If I had taken his one idiot move as the basis for his life I could quite possibly have ruined a lot for him and for her. I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing at the time but now I know it was definitely the best thing to do. I'm sorry your friend died, but gosh it's nice to hear a story, beginning the way yours did, where the assumed prick B redeems himself at the end. Had a drunken 5-way with my roommate, his girlfriend, and another couple, 3 guys 2 girls. We all ended up blacking out and only had vague memories of strip poker and awkwardness in the morning. Until we found the video. We all decided to delete the video and never talk about it ever again. The next month was very quiet. Tequila does the same thing to me, but I have fewer friends. We made napalm in our backyard. Styrofoam and gasoline for the kids on here who wanna try it for themselves. In 7th grade my best friend and I were playing basketball at the park. I had to crap so bad but the closest toilet was across the street so I stopped crap and pulled my shorts away from my body and the crap fell without touching my shorts. We walked away casually and no one saw. I'm gonna get cool story broed for this, but a few years ago I was at a party and had gone with a long-time female friend. All was well at first, but as the night went on we both had a bit too much to drink. Her boyfriend of over 2 years had suddenly dumped her by text, and I had just found out my girlfriend had cheated on me. I say this because we both were dancing, and we were both buzzed and emotionally unstable. As a joke she grinds into me, laughing as she does it, but I start getting aroused and grind back. I suddenly realize what I'm doing and back off, but her face is red and she's visibly aroused. She pulls me into the bathroom and we proceed to have sex. Not super hot lustful pee sex, but we both climax together, make out for a few minutes, then we both duck out, saying I had to hold her hair as she puked. The hostess, a mutual friend, offered us to stay the night, which we took her up on. She passed out. I was having a freaking heart attack. We were buzzed. What if she freaks out? Did I just ruin a 7-year-long close friendship just to make my dong feel good and to pee off our exes? A million things ran through my mind. I eventually nodded off. I woke up an hour later with her sprawled on me, which is fine. We've shared a bed more than a few times. She wakes up and blinks, looks at me and goes, "What the frick? Buy me dinner first next time, dork." She ends it with a laugh but my face must have been ghost white. She hugs me and says 2 consenting adults had sex. Plus hey, better someone I know and trust rather than some weird butthole who might have tried some crap. We're still friends. Okay, if you need to be alone I understand. I hug her back and ask her if she's up for some IHOP. All is well. We're still the best of friends and hang out regularly. That was about 2 years ago, and we both haven't said a word about it, though I still blush when I hear buttons by Pussycatdles. Age of Empires. Oh frick yes dude. Good choice. I had to make a throwaway just for this. When I was about 4 years old or so, I had a best friend whose name shall not be disclosed. We will call him Tom. Tom and I lived in the same neighborhood, so we had plenty of opportunities to stay over at each other's houses while our mothers jibber-jabbered in the next room. When we were at my house, we played in the basement, which was outfitted as a playroom, with trains and Legos and all sorts of fun things, like markers. So he and I are downstairs in the playroom, and he decides that he's done playing with the trains. So he picks up an orange marker. We didn't have paper, so he finds this felt dartboard and colors on the white cardboard backing. I want to get along with him, so I do the same, choosing a green marker. Well, he soon gets bored with this as well, but he thinks the colors would look cooler if the lights were out. So he waddles up to the light switch, climbs on top of the toy chest, and turns off the lights. The colors do indeed look cooler. Of course, coloring is only so much fun when one is full of chocolate milk. So we both get up and walk over to where we'd tossed our socks earlier. I don't remember why we took off our socks, but it must have been something they said because we immediately pee all over them. Our socks were soon thoroughly soaked with our urine. This gave Tom an idea. He looked down at his mini member and thought to himself, know what, it'd look really cool if it were orange at least. I assume he thought that because he then started coloring his penis orange. Maybe he just wanted a better tan. And of course Tom is absolutely right. It does look cooler, but you know what's cooler than orange? Green. Green is much cooler than orange. So I color my own wrinkle Van Willy green. Cue our Catholic mothers. Tom's mother is absolutely horrified. At least, that's what my own mother tells me. To be honest, I don't remember much after coloring the felt dartboard. My own mother, thankfully, I guess, took a much more humorous approach. She thought it was hysterical. Anyway, they took us upstairs to the bathroom and made us wash our little dongs in the bathtub while my mother washed and dried our socks. After that, Tom and his mom went home. I've never heard anything about that incident from anybody aside from my mother, and vague memories are my only assurance that the story is true. In any case, neither Tom nor I have ever spoken of it, nor will I ever, except to my fiance, because if I don't, my mother will. This is amazing. I saved him from killing himself, and he made me stop thinking about suicide as well. Me and my friends watched Fight Club. We never talk about it. You broke the first rule of Fight Club. Freshman year in college. Stupid drunk at ex's Halloween party. Few good friends show up, thinking it was a random party. Got so trashed I passed out, only to wake up and chug a bottle of gin. Vomited off Blackany. Blacked out. Woke up in my dorm bed completely naked with one of my buddies. That sucker puked in my Letterman. I'd love to say it, but I agreed that I'd never speak of it again. Finally, one freaking person that can actually keep a secret. When I was 15, my friend Gerald was staying over for the weekend. It was the typical Friday night. We were up playing video games on my N64, shooting the crap, and watching random horror movies at a low volume with the dialogue replaced with our own snarky narration while he browsed the net on my computer. This would be rude ordinarily, but he didn't have a computer or the internet at his home and it was an opportunity to get him some exposure to both. We were playing Gauntlet Legends when he paused the game and looked at me. Dude, your arm's bleeding. I must have gotten myself on a tree while I was dirt biking. It's nothing. I'm fine. Now let's kill some dwarfs. We started up again, but I could see him looking at my arm every few minutes out of the corner of my eye. He paused the game again, dropped the controller between his knees. So, if you don't tell me what's actually wrong, I'm waking up your mom. I'm fine. Dude, cut the crap. When you got up to grab a drink, your sleeve pulled up and I saw him. I sat there for a bit, closed my eyes and sighed. He knew, so there was no point in hiding it or keeping up the charade. He lifted my sleeve as I sat there and hung my head quietly, then backed away in hushed silence. When I looked up to make eye contact, his eyes were rimmed with tears. Why would you do that to yourself, man? Those aren't clean lines. You carved them with something. It's complicated. Then freaking uncomplicated for me. So I told him the truth. I was deeply depressed. My family was disintegrating, and it was the only way to get that kind of bottled emotional pain out of my system. I was halfway through explaining myself when he wrapped his arms around me and hugged the breath out of me. I love you Snapjackal, not in a gay way. You're my best friend and you're like a brother to me. I'm there for you, man. Just don't do this again. Alright, I won't tell anyone, but you'd better fricking promise me you'll call me the next time it gets that bad. The rest of the night was understandably strained. No matter how we tried to forget it all, the elephant was still in the room. We never spoke about it again. He did his best to pretend nothing had happened the next day and would flat out not acknowledge my wounds. I taught a friend how to use a vibrator when she was spending the night with me. That one time we tried blowjobs. Choo choo. 6th grade, outdoor school. Him and I ate a lot of pudding. A crap load of pudding. That night we both book it to the bathroom almost crapping our pants. We get to the toilets and just let it rip and holy crap did we crap. We're sitting in adjacent stalls and we're just laughing our asses off at the sound of each other's crap. Think fire hoses. Haha good crap. We decided to never speak about that again but really it's not that bad. Pretty dang funny. While living in a DC row house that had been built in the 1890s we both saw something. He says it was a ghost. I saw a thin red line like a laser beam from floor to ceiling track across the room and stop in front of the television then poof. He saw a brown haired lady come in and scowl at him, then leave through the ceiling. He never came to my place again. Me and my friend were both maybe 8 or 9 and we were watching pee in his basement. He says, this might seem weird, but when I watch pee or see a hot girl my penis gets real hard and bigger. I say, having knowledge of this for some reason. Your penis gets hard so it will fit into a vagina. A soft one would probably just mush to the side. I pretty much gave my friend the talk cause his dad never did, or never got the chance because he died when we were 12. These numbers don't add up. You have been visited by the hamster of joy. Comment I like chicken to live a happy and full of joy like the joy hamster life. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.